I made a YouTube video the other day about using marks in Vim, neovim. And so today I'm going to show you something about using registers. So I'm going to work through this second file here, and I'll be editing it in neovim and just using it sort of as an example, I guess. Okay, so here we are. Now, before I go any further, I may as well say that I'm on Mac OS machine. I'm using iTerm 2, and I have and I'm using a nerd font, and I have the ligatures turned on. And ligatures don't properly matter for what you're going to be seeing here, but the nerd font, that's how I can get, like, see in the very bottom line there, it's got a funny little thing to the left of master that's telling you what branch you're on. And you can get all that kind of stuff because it's a nerd font. Nerd fonts are also quite nice. Like if you look at the number 0 here, it's got a dot in the center. So it's pretty easy to tell 0 from a letter O. I don't remember exactly which nerd font I have because I change it regularly, being fickle. Okay, and if you're interested in my lazyvim setup, it's down here. It's in that line down here at the bottom. And by the way, in case you don't know it, in Vim, you can type GX when you're on something like a website, and it will open it up in your browser. GF will open, if it's a file, GF will open up the local file that you're naming. GX will open it up externally, which means in the browser in this particular case. Okay, so going to the top, the other thing I'll say is I'm using relative line mode. So the line I'm on will be the one that's, you can see it sort of highlighted or whatever in a lighter color, and you can see that a bright yellow beside it. So I'm on line 4. And this just is sort of an automatic thing, I think, but if it weren't automatic, I would turn it on because I really like it. Okay, so the topic here is using registers in neovim. And I want you to think of registers as pasteboards. So in many GUI type editors, you can select some text and do what's called copying, and then go to another place and do what's called pasting. Now you can only, in those sort of GUI editors, typically you can only have one pasteboard, and in Vim you can have 26 of them. So a little typo there I just fixed. And they're named A through Z. These are ones that you can use, and there's others that get saved automatically, and you'll see that in a moment. Now, the other thing is that in this representation here, the way I've got it set up, if my cursor is not on a given line, you don't see the special characters I typed. So here I've got a backtick Z, backtick, or Z if you're American. But if I'm not on it, it just comes up with a red background. What that means is a typewriter font, and so these are things that you would type. Okay, so the first topic is, I'm calling it the power of the Z character. It's the quote character. Now, I don't really know if this is called quote everywhere. I'm in Canada, and I call that a quotation mark. It might be called different things for different keyboards and different people, so I can't really help you with that. Let's see. So I very often select some text. How do I get some text? I very often select it using V. For example, I might type V, and then I've just gone forward 2 words, and now I've selected that, or I might type V and then E, and I've got 2 words there. E means to the end of a word. Okay. And then I would type, to copy it into a register named A, I would say quote, and then the register name, and that's A. So quote AY means yank. So what is called copy in GUI-based things is called yank in this. So quote AY, I've just done that. And now I can save it somewhere. I'm just going to put it right here. I'm going to say quote AP, and quote A is the name of the register, and P means paste. So there's little lowercase p and uppercase P. Now you're probably familiar with this. If I type DW, means delete word, it automatically gets pasted somewhere. If I go here and type P, it inserts it back at that new location. So that was using, I didn't even name it, it's using internally named ones. Let's see, so down at the bottom it says you can type reg to see the registers. We just type that right now. Ignore the stuff on the upper right. It's just a pop-up message. This is the result from that operation, that :reg thing. And you'll see that there's a register, where are we at here? A register called A, which has some text. I didn't save into these numbered things. These were automatically done. I'm playing with some editing in here. So these are some edits that happened here. Down here, who knows what I was doing? Delta T equals. These are some numbers I was using for a paper I'm writing, copying and pasting some stuff. Anyway, that's what that is. So I'll kill that window. Okay, so what we've got so far is copying into a register with Y and pasting with lowercase or uppercase P. Let's see. So, and I've just done this where you highlight stuff, but now I'm going to tell you another one. Let's just take this line. So I could type quote A Y Y. And then what I've done is the YY means I want you to copy the whole line. So I'm going to the next line. I'm typing quote AP, and you can see that whole line was copied. I do that an awful lot, actually. A really common thing that I would do would be I've just gone up a few lines and I've used J to go down. And then I would copy that into a register. So if I'm writing something and I have a paragraph and I want to move it, that's how I would do it. There's other ways. You can easily navigate to the end of a paragraph from the beginning, and that's all fine too. But I mean, I'm normally reading the text as I'm doing this, so I don't need to be using the fastest possible commands for that. Let's see. So that was inserting and then getting it back. And so let's see. So other things that are useful: register 0 as the last yank operation, which is pretty useful. Oh, this is an interesting one. Register % holds the file name being edited. So if I type quote %p, it pastes in the name of the file that I'm working with, which is vim registers. Actually, it's a pretty useful thing to do. Now let's see. So there's other things that you can do. So let me just, I'm going to copy this word. So I do quote AY. So I've copied that into the Y register. And now I'm going to try something. I want to change. I'm going to do :S/. Okay, but I want that word register, and I don't want to have to type it. I can type Control-RA. It fills it in. So that would be how I could change from lowercase to uppercase there. So it's Control-R. So in other words, when you're in command mode, which is what I mean. If you look in the lower left there, you can see I'm in command mode. I don't actually want to do that. So what else? Well, I think that was it. That was basically it. Our register is good. Yes. They are kind of related to marks, and I very, very often use the things together. You'll find yourself, this is the kind of amazing thing about Vim. If you sort of get a few little basics, it has to do with sort of how verbs work and how movement commands work. You'll find yourself composing new sort of operations, like what I was sort of showing about transposing words. And that's not a new command that transposes words. That's just a composition of commands to do that. And I think you'll start finding that. You'll start finding, gee, I could mark from where I am now. Oh, sorry, I could highlight from where I am now by using V somehow combined with a movement command. So you could go back to the marks video and see what I mean by a movement command to a mark. It's also very useful. Right, thanks for watching. So that's the second in a couple of videos, one on marks. This one was on registers. Both things are really useful to learn, I would say. Now, I've just shown you 61 lines of stuff there, and probably 10 lines there were empty. It's not very much. I've just touched the surface. But my philosophy in these little videos is I don't want to give you extensive, complicated knowledge that you might forget. I just want to show you 2 or 3 little hints that I personally, it's just me, that I personally find pretty helpful. And if they're helpful to you, it might give you a sort of a little handhold for climbing up the mountain that Vim seems to be sometimes. I will tell you, it's well worth it. Learning how to use Vim is well worth it. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.